Morning, everyone. Hoping you're having a great day. It's a Thursday, November 5th. Here at the same time. Well, I guess it's a different time because Colombia doesn't celebrate daylight saving. So I was doing this at 8 p.m. or 8 a.m. Now I'm doing it at 9 a.m. Eastern time because of daylight savings. Now I'm on East Coast time. But we're doing this at this time. And then about a month from now, I will be recording from Mexico, and I'll be on Mountain Time. So, no idea. So, times are going to switch, but you can always watch these later. But what we're going to talk about today is, well, before going to that, today's my last day in Cali, so I'm about to go to Manizales today, drive there, have someone, a private driver, take me up there. And just see more of Colombia before I have to go. So just excited about my journey and everything, and see what the next adventure takes me. But today, what we're going to talk about is how we're the average of the 5 people we hang around. There's this really good quote I always think about is we don't rise to our expectations, we fall to the level of our training. So if you think about it, like if you hang around, if all your friends go to the gym, you're most likely going to the gym as well because you share the common interest and everything. If you have a book club, and you're most likely going to read books because all your friends are going to be reading books. If you're going to be drinking every weekend, it's probably because your friends are always drinking every weekend. Except for business. Business, there's not really many people that hang around other business people. Because if you do, in the beginning, what happens is like you're not focusing on the business and everything. So like entrepreneurship can be a very lonely road at times. Same thing with being a digital nomad because you're just constantly traveling. You don't have time to set roots and everything. But what I'm getting is not the average of my 5 friends, but I'm getting the average of my 5 experiences. So I went to Mexico, went to Panama, went to Costa Rica, now I'm here in Colombia, and I have these experiences. So that's much different from my experience of growing up in Oregon in the small town of 5,000 people. So like if you think about you're the average of your 5 experiences, that's kind of going to determine who you're going to be in the future, or it's going to give you a projection. It doesn't like your past isn't set your future. You can change your destiny, but you have to actually change your destiny. So you have to change those 5 things that are affecting you. And the idea is look at your life and just see where you want to go, where do you want to be, and then just see if the 5 things that you do are causing you to get on that path. So look at your 5 friends, look at the 5 habits you do the most days. Look at your diet. What is the 5 things you eat the most on average a week? Look at your sleeping patterns. Like do you get 8 hours of sleep every night on average? Like 5 nights of sleep. Look at your 5 nights of sleep. Oh, you're getting 4, 4, 4, 4, and then 8. You're still have a low average compared to the person that does 8, 8, 8, 8, 8. So yeah, you just got to look at your life and just see, hey, what are the average? Are these the 5 things that are going to give me the average that I want? Because rarely do we rise to our expectations. We fall to the level of our training. I was just thinking about like 2020, and I see all these memes and everything, and people like, oh, 2020 sucks. It's so hard and everything. And I'm like, if I look at my past experiences, just like I tore my ACL, couldn't really do anything with that year in 2003 to 2004. That was not fun. And then if I look at like my time in the Marines, like best times of my life, worst times of my life, then also looked at like 2017, went through a divorce, and like 2020 is not that bad in terms of like what I've been through. So I had my average for how I can be miserable is here, but like 2020, it could be there, but it is what it is. And that's one of the powers, like once you train yourself to do more, like to do uncomfortable things and have different, don't do what's comfortable. If all your experiences are comfortable, then what happens when you're going to deal with the uncomfortable stuff? You're probably not going to feel comfortable. But if you have a lot of experiences that are uncomfortable, then 2020 is not going to be that bad in terms of what you have. So I feel like you got to mix it up and just look at your friends. It's like, hey, do I have the right friends to help me get to where I want to go in life? Sometimes you have to leave your friends. One of my favorite quotes I think about is the cost of having low value people in your life is your life. And that doesn't mean like you get rid of them. You're just like, hey, maybe instead of close friends, you make them acquaintances and everything. I don't know, people really don't change as people overnight. Give them time. They can change, just give them time and everything. I know I'm not the same person I was at 22. So if you haven't seen somebody since college at 22 and you're 34 like myself, they could change. You just have to give them an opportunity and let them show who they are as a person. Let their averages show you who they are. Don't let one instance say, oh, they changed completely. No, give them 5 chances, 10 chances to actually help them prove who they are by the average of what they do. Like if you look at your body, like go to the gym. Like if you go to the gym 5 times a week, you're probably going to be a lot fitter than someone who doesn't. So because your averages of going to the gym are much higher than someone who doesn't. So it's a numbers game. The more you do stuff, the more you're going to be that person. You're more likely going to identify with that person. And so if you're like for me, I read a lot of books, so I'm trying to get new ideas. So I'm reading different types of books. So I'm really the average of all the different books I read. When I watch YouTube videos like Joe Rogan and other like motivational, I'm the average of those YouTube videos. And so you also got to beware of getting caught up in confirmation bias, where you're only looking at information that you agree with. You should look at different sources, different books. I was just listening to this, the Joe Rogan podcast, and talk about the Social Dilemma documentary on Netflix. I haven't watched it yet, but it's stuff I've heard like 12 years ago, 10 years ago, where how Google only shows you stuff that you agree with or that you're familiar with and everything. And it's, you just gotta be aware. So that's why I like reading books, and like especially old books and different types of books, just so that I get a different perspective. I'm not getting a bunch of information, I'm getting wisdom to help me live my best life. So if I look at all my books, I'm the average of those 5 books. If I look at my podcasts, I kind of just listen to the same 12 podcasts, but I feel like they're pretty diverse and they give me new ideas on how to live life. So I would say I'm the average of those 5 podcasts or 10 podcasts that I listen to. When it comes to my friends, when I interact with them, I'm the average of the 5 people that I interact with the most, or who are like the organizations that I'm a part of. You just got to look at your life and just be like, hey, this is what I want. This is where I want to go. This is how I'm going to get there. Okay, now these are the averages I need in my life to help me get to where I want to go. And that's what I just follow. I've been following that for a while now. And I know where I want to go in life. I know where I want to go with my Grow with Joe business and with our financial planning. So I'm doing averages right now in terms of like, hey, I want to be run this agency where I'm hiring minority financial advisors. So I'm going to have to take an average, like inputs that are going to raise my average to make me an average CEO. So like, hey, I'd rather be an average CEO than an average Joe. So the idea is just do the things that are going to help you be the person that you need to be. If you want more in life, you're going to have to be more in life. To be more in life, you work on yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So do the things, and then you're going to become the average of those things. And if you're not getting the results that you want, you got to change what you're doing. It's very simple. Like things are not going to change on their own. They happen through an active approach. Passive doesn't work except if you're investing for becoming a long-term investor. But the idea is you have to be an active approach by putting money in there. But if you take the active approach of index investing, passive investing, that can do you pretty well over 30, 40 years. But you have to give it 30, 40 years. That's how passive works. If you want to get it in 2 years, 3 years, then you have to take an active approach. It's going to have to be starting a business where you're creating sales of selling a product or a service. So then you just figure, okay, what are the averages? What are the inputs to give me the average so that I'm a person that can sell online or sell in person, or what do I need to do? And you just take it from there. So yeah, that's just remember you're the average of the 5 people you hang around the most. That's by Jim Rohn or Zig Ziglar, one of those 2 motivational speakers. Listen to them from time to time, and then watch them on YouTube. Lots of great stuff. Just watch it when you're getting ready in the morning. Just put it on your phone, just listen to it, and just take it in, and just get motivated again. Motivation is like bathing; it's recommended daily. Just get something to like motivate you. Like, okay, I'm ready to take on my day, do these hard tasks, and live my best life. And that's what I'm trying to do, is just give you the wisdom to help you live a life where you're not miserable. I don't want to be miserable. Like, I grew up overweight. My parents were blue-collar workers. I saw how they did everything that they could. But I realized, like, hey, they made a lot of sacrifices. And I realized, like, hey, I can choose a path where I live a great life. I don't have to wait until 70 years old to, like, retire and everything. I'm young right now. I want to enjoy doing things. Like, hey, I'm traveling right now. Like, can I do this older and travel and do all these other? I don't know. I'd rather do it right now and just live my best life. And if I fail, at least I can live in Colombia or Mexico and be just fine off Social Security. Like, I only spend $1,000 a month here in Colombia, and it feels like I'm spending $48,000 a year. Just because for every $1 I make is like making $4 down here. So that experience then gives me an average, like, oh, I could do other things. Like, if I go to Panama, like, they don't tax your foreign income. So Panama's nice. I liked it when I was there. Definitely could go back. And my experiences are raising my average in terms of what I think is possible, what I can do, and what are my alternatives in life. And so I'm not going to become stuck. And when I'm not stuck, I'm going to be a lot more happier, because instead of being forced to doing something, I have the option to choose to do something. And that's good for my mental health. So hope you enjoyed today's lesson, and hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I'll come back here tomorrow and talk about something financial planning wise, and take care.